All right, so now that we've introduced the candidates, here's the first question. What are your qualifications to lead the NCCFT? So the first question we'll have Caroline do.
Okay. Like I said before, I've been a member of the NCCFT Executive Committee for the past 8 years. I grew up in a household where both my parents were in unions. I've been through 3 successful contract negotiations during my time served. I've established working relationships with administration, as this is important as we often work together. I've participated in the college's budget review committee per section 67 of our contract. And this is where my experience of auditing multi-million-dollar public companies comes in handy. I'm able to analyze the college's budget on a more granular level. I was able to ask the important questions regarding the budget, such as what is the college doing to attract new students? How is the CARES Act being implemented and its impact on the budget? What are they doing to drive down expenses? And what are the revenue sources can we investigate? These are just some examples of the questions that were asked. I'm approachable and members feel comfortable coming to me to discuss their concerns. My job as an executive committee member is to serve the members, so it's important that they feel comfortable coming to me and trust me to advocate on their behalf. I've also attended many conferences over the years, a bunch of NICET conferences, some in regards to Janus, the leadership conferences, community college conferences, grievance workshops, and those are just a few.
Okay, thank you. David, could you respond to the question, please?
Okay. All right. As mentioned in my opening, I have vast experience in preparing and evaluating budgets, both on an organizational scale as well as on state and county levels. I've gained invaluable, extensive experience as a leader of different organizations, whether as an executive director of a legislative commission or supervisor of a significant program to protect New York City's water supply, or as first vice chair of the Academic Senate. I have left a record of notable accomplishment from each of these. I'm proud that my approach to my collaborative approach by being forthright, collecting data, presenting those facts, analyzing those facts, has led to these accomplishments. Probably one of the biggest accomplishments I mentioned before, which was saving New York City $65 million. That's not a small sum, okay? In the words of the commissioner who gave me the commendation, I'd like to repeat them for you. Your leadership and expertise in crafting a study that withstood a rigorous peer review process, was critical to convincing our regulators. I understand that the EPA was so impressed with your efforts that they intend to adopt it as a model. I extend my thanks and my congratulations for a job well done. I'd like to bring the same quality of budget data collection and analysis and recommendations to this opportunity as treasurer of the NCCFT. I also have a lot of experience interfacing with elected officials. I could put this experience to good on behalf of our union. If you think about it, we have not gotten much increases from the state contribution to our college in many years. You have to really ask, what have we been doing to lobbying for that? Our local elected officials. How can we explain to them the value of our members? Okay. The county is even worse. We haven't seen an increase in the county's contribution to our college in over 16 years. It's an embarrassment. All the other community colleges, even small ones in upstate New York, have seen small 1% to 2% increases from their county. Now, obviously, our college is not doing the job. Our administration, our board of trustees, they are not doing, if they were doing their job in this regard, they would be, we'd be in much better financial situation. So unfortunately, it's up to us. It's up to the unions. It's up to the NCCFT union as the largest union on campus. It's also look at the membership. We have such expertise. We could bring that to the elected officials. Look at what Val and Fran did with the Achilles program. I mean, this is what we could be doing. Now, it starts off with data analysis, and knowing the budget. And as you could tell from my background, I have extensive Yeah, I just had a question. I thought there was going to be a bell rung when there's 1 minute.
That's what I'm trying to figure out now.
Okay. I mean,
Alexander, do you have the
I think I
bell?
was just cut off instead, right?
Hold on. Yeah.
I don't think that's fair.
Well, it happened to Caroline
To
as
me
well.
too.
Oh, they cut you. I didn't realize. I thought that was
Yeah.
a data, internet issue.
No.
I didn't hear the bell then either.
It's trying to figure out. Alexander, what's going on with the bell? Do we not have it? I can't hear you. Okay, I'm not sure what's going, oh, no, I'm not sure what's going on with that. I still can't hear you.
That's probably the problem, right?
Okay, so why don't we do this? We'll go on to question number 2. At 3 minutes, you know that you will be interrupted because he's going to cut your audio feed, okay? And in the meantime, we'll try to figure out what's going on with Alexander's audio. Okay, so the second question. Since the world is rapidly changing and evolving, can you tell us about your recent union involvement and experience? Please speak to your specific accomplishments or training. So why don't we have David go first?
Okay. Okay. We thought this was actually a pretty interesting question. Okay, since I was hired as a full-time faculty member at NASA in 2005, I've been an active member, certainly in the union, and just the daily life of any of our members is shaped by the union's contract. So in response to this question, I would say every member is basically involved in the union every day that they work. I'm also currently a member of both the union's Political Action Committee and the Bylaws Revision Committee. After the ratification of our 2017 contract, not this one, but the one before, I successfully submitted a petition as per our bylaws to require that at least 10 days, that there's at least 10 days for members to look at the contract or the MOA before they consider a vote on the contract. The executive board decided to task the ad hoc bylaws and constitutional review committee to just look at that issue. And I believe they've worked on some amendments in that regard over the last couple of years. This is just a couple of examples of my involvement as far as directly with the union. I've spoken out at union members. I think many of you that attend union members probably have seen me speak out. Most of the time I'm defending our members and our contract and asking, I imagine, pertinent questions. I'm a member in good standing, and I support our union regardless of who the leadership is. Thank you.
Okay, Caroline, would you respond, please?
Sure. And again, this is a little similar to the last question, some of it, but again, obviously I've been involved in the union recently as being the treasurer and an executive committee member for the last 8 years. I've been part of 3 successful contract negotiations, including our most recent one a few weeks ago. I've worked on issues such as contract language modification for distance education, FMLA issues for members, and representing members during meetings. I've advocated for our members not only during contract negotiations, but all year long. I also participated in the summer where we had our kind of question and answer meetings with the individual departments. We had 2 series of that, one in early July and one in the end of August. We got a lot of really good feedback just in regards to the contract, in regard to what's going on with the COVID situation and the remote teaching in the fall. So it was nice to get involved and hear from everyone from that. I'm also on the NCCFT Educational Technology Committee. I've attended, like I said before, the NCCFT Community College Conferences, the grievance workshops, the National Center for the Study of Collective Bargaining in Higher Education and the Professions. That was a few days long, that conference. I also attend academic senate meetings, college-wide curriculum meetings, the monthly chair meetings and academic affair meetings as well. And I've served on search committees such as the AVP of Distance Education and the VP of Finance as the NCCFT representative.
Okay. We're going to take a break for a minute because Alexander needs to log off and re-log on to see if that will bring his audio back. Whew. Let's hope it works. I've been asked to play music. Y'all don't want to hear the music I listen to because I listen to like raunchy rap. So yeah, no, we won't be. I will not be playing music right now.
Now I'm curious about your music, Vendor.
I know, right? I go through phases right now.
You'll have to share it with me at some time, at some point.
A lot of swearing. Yeah, now when I'm out of this phase, I'll share music.
I can see how that's, I don't strike you as someone like that.
From opera to, I listen to everything, but right now I'm just, see, somebody says, yeah. Okay.
You're a Renaissance woman, right?
I just have varying tastes, and right now it's rough rap. Okay, where is it? All right, back it? No. Okay, you know, I guess I could try to do it. Oh yeah, reggaeton would be nice, but yeah, not right now. Oh, okay, how about if we move on to the next question, and I will try to be the timekeeper too.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try that. Okay, so the next question. I would like the candidates to comment on the NCC. You're back. Thank God. I would like the candidates to comment on the NCC bookstore, the rollout of the NCC All Access program, aka books on the first day of school, and the number of students who have yet to receive them, and the practice of the bookstore charging one price for the books and materials one day and more than doubling the price a day later. What can be done about the current book situation? And I believe this time
It's me.
it's, yeah, Carolyn's trying to go first.
Okay. Even though this is not a contractual issue, we, the executive committee, have great concerns about the NCC Access program as it impacts our members and our students. We've expressed to both Dr. Williams and Dr. Lausch during our monthly meeting how upset the faculty and students are over this program. We also attended a meeting with the bookstore's manager, Dr. Lausch, the academic VP, the academic deans, and the VP of Finance, where concerns from the campus were addressed. I believe, at least as it relates to my department, that the program is misleading. In my department, students are getting an electronic book and access code, but no physical textbook like they have in the past. So we don't have the issue of students not getting their materials necessarily or being charged more from one day to the next. But again, they're not getting a physical textbook. I've spoken to Caitlin over at the bookstore directly to discuss the issues my students have been having. The college was not transparent with students about the details of this program. Now they're paying exactly what they used to pay in past semesters, except they're no longer receiving a textbook. As you know, many of our students don't have iPads or laptops at home where an electronic book would be convenient for them. My concern is what happens when they return to the classroom with no physical textbooks and no laptops or iPads are provided to them. Students should be able to opt into the program versus having to opt out. The union demanded that administration re-examine or reconsider the NCC Access program. We've also been asking since prior to the implementation of the program to include faculty in the decision-making process. We also helped put pressure on the administration to extend the opt-out date for the program.
Okay, thanks, David.
Okay, this is everyone's favorite recent program, right? Or recent policy decision by our administrative leaders. You know, this is a perfect example of what has happened to our college when the NCCFT members lose their voice in shared decision-making. For decades, the Academic Senate's Campus Services Committee assessed and offered recommendations on the services on the campus, including the bookstore. When the current union leadership decided to abandon its support of Section 20 of our contract regarding the Academic Senate, it also abandoned the most collaborative process to evaluate and implement such programs. The result has been chaos. In the past, it would have gone through committees. It would have been discussed. It would have been assessed in those committees the following year. Instead, we have chaos. And just an example, as Carolyn had mentioned too, I have a student who told me that basically the Access program would have cost her $500 for her books when she was able to obtain them for less than $100. So it seems almost like we're really ripping off our students. This is a horrible, horrible system, and it should have certainly have gone through some kind of shared decision-making, as required by SUNY, by the way, and middle states. You know, in the short term, I think what we should do right away, the program should immediately be an opt-in program, not an opt-out program. That should be done right now. It should not be allowed for the spring semester. That's outrageous. Now, as treasurer, I would also lead our budget committee. I would get experts within our membership and request the financial records from the college immediately associated with this bookstore.
David, you're out of time. Sorry. Okay, moving on to the next question. How do we restore the...
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. How do we restore the Academic Senate's participation in major policy decisions?
I personally believe in the premise of shared governments and will always defend and support the Academic Senate. Part of our job as the NCCFT Executive Committee is to support the Academic Senate. We always advocate for them to be involved in major academic decisions. Per the contract in Section 20, the Academic Senate can formulate and propose policies on class size, academic advisement, and to examine, approve, and recommend curricula. If you notice, some of the words in there are, though, that they can propose and recommend. Obviously, they don't have the final say, but they need to be a major, major part of these decisions always, and not just the Executive Committee, the Academic Senate as a whole, as each department is represented there. There are also some other responsibilities and powers that are listed in the contract under that section as well. As Lynn Bergen, the current secretary of the Academic Senate, mentioned yesterday in the Secretary Forum, the Academic Senate Executive Committee meets on a regular basis with administration to discuss major issues, so they're not necessarily lacking in participation. But hopefully, hopefully the administration takes what they have to say to heart.
Can I just interject? Can you guys hear me now? Are you able to hear? Okay. I'm going to just try the bell one time just to see if you can hear that.
That works great.
I apologize for all the inconvenience. Sorry about that.
Okay.
That's good, because now it's on you. Go ahead, David.
David, you have to unmute. You're
I
muted.
think, Mondora, you have to read the question.
Dave, you're still muted.
No, he's answering
Okay,
the same
thank
question,
you.
isn't he?
Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay, same
Okay.
question. I just wanted to quickly follow up the other question regarding the bookstore. I wouldn't simply rely on a report generated by the same administrative vice president that gave us this policy. Now, the lack of participation as far as the Academic Senate question, the lack of participation by the Academic Senate in participating in major policy decisions over the last 3 years is simply a symptom of a larger problem that we have here with our NCCFT members. Simply, we're not being treated as professionals anymore. The loss of reassignment time, the chaining of our non-classroom faculty to time clocks in essence, other professional insults, this is all a symptom of what's been going on in these poor policies. Because the Academic Senate structure was very effective in providing faculty input in many areas, it intentionally was partially dismantled with the approval of the NCC membership to limit any further input. I mean, it's the result of what was decided, 3 years ago. Besides losing input in these actions, it also dismantled the respect for our members, afforded our members as professionals. Now, our current union leadership also allowed the president to set up committees that bypass Senate committees. And that means, what does that mean? That means that fewer people are actually involved in, fewer faculty, fewer NCCFT members are involved in the decision-making. Senate committees involve a lot more of our membership in each of those committees. We have 30 of those committees. So I think what we need to do is we need to go back, have a discussion with the president, with the administration, and go through an evaluation of how this is not working. Our development ed was dismantled without any input from the faculty. I mean, we're just generally being treated as non-professionals. And you know what? Our students are really suffering. Our enrollment is decreasing. This is why we really should care about restoring our shared governance system at the college.
Okay, thank you. And our last question. Is there an area of the NCCFT's budget that you feel is either overfunded or underfunded? If so, please explain how this area can be improved. And Caroline, I believe you're going first.
Von Dor, did we skip the question before about the temporary and probationary lines?
Yeah, we did.
I think
It's
in
not
David's turn. Yeah.
Okay,
it's
so yeah,
turn.
David, you're
Okay.
doing the, okay, hold on. I must have the wrong copy.
Okay.
Okay,
Tell me when you're ready.
okay.
Okay.
What's with the question? Go ahead.
Okay, so did you read the question? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't.
Don't take that away from me,
Trying
please.
to-
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
Trying to,
Maybe David, you could just read it.
Okay, I'll read it. How would you handle temporary lines as well as keeping all probation lines? As treasurer, I would work to provide the executive committee of the union with the information to support ending the bleeding. Since I arrived at Nassau Community College, we've lost a third of all our members in our union, and the college has declined as a result. My understanding is that the union has never provided the college with a cost-benefit analysis to support not just saving our non-tenured members, but to start asking for replacement lines. 2 deans equal probably more than 5 new members. Here's just one example. Just this month, the New York, the college's Office of Institutional Effectiveness and Strategic Planning released a student feedback study which showed between 2010 and 2019, less of our students responded that they were satisfied or very satisfied with our college. This is exactly the same time period where we were losing a lot of our membership. Our quality of education, let's see. So you know what, I just wanted to say that it's we need to do a cost-benefit analysis. We need to determine that we have value. Our members have value as far as economics to the college. And we need to start building the data and the analysis to provide it to the administration and the board of trustees why they should be hiring more lines, adding more lines, and not threatening the few lines we already have. Thank you.
okay, Caroline.
As the executive committee has already done in the past few contracts, we will continue to fight to protect the temporary lines and probationary lines. We are always discussing with administration the value of full-time faculty and what we bring to the table. Full-time faculty provide office hours, mentoring, and advisement that is not required of the adjunct faculty. During the early retirement incentives, we have provided the college with the savings from these retirements and how getting new individuals at entry-level positions costs a lot less money and encourage them to replace these lines rather than to not replace them. These members on both temporary and probationary lines are just like us. They participate in our shared governance structure by serving on college-wide committees and leadership positions on campus, and we encourage them to stay active and speak up so that they're known on campus.
Okay, thank you. And the next question. Okay. So this time it's David going first. Is there
No,
an
it's me.
area of the, excuse me?
It's me, I think, this time.
Did you go first last time, David? Okay.
I think I
Caroline,
did,
is
but
there an
it's-
area of the NCCFT's budget that you feel is either overfunded or underfunded? If so, please explain how this area can be improved.
As the current treasurer, I'd say no area is either overfunded or underfunded. Overfunding or underfunding means that we provide more or less funding for something that's necessary or permitted. So as the treasurer, my job is not to decide what to spend money on, but to determine based on the needs of our members and the decisions of the executive committee and the executive board where to allocate our funds. There are things that the executive committee is looking into changing, which would ultimately change the budget in the future. For example, we're currently getting quotes on dental insurance plans rather than continue to be self-insured. We have to see if this is something that would give the members better benefits without any added cost to them, because as you know right now, we as the individual members don't contribute to our dental plan at all. And we receive a small amount from the county that hasn't changed in years. So I would say no area is overfunded or underfunded since we monitor the actual expenditures closely to the budgeted amounts.
Okay. David.
Okay, well, before one can answer this question, you need to provide an objective cost-benefit analysis of how our union resources are expended. You know, I'm a firm believer in database decision-making, as you could tell from my past experience, including my most recent experience too. Right now, our dues are approximately $950 per year, and we send 2/3 of that, or $600, to Nccft. With 496 members left in our union, that's almost $300,000. Are we getting more than $250,000 worth of services from Nccft? If not, and I'm not sure, but if not, then we need to have an open, transparent discussion among our members to discuss what we should be getting, okay? We should ask for more services from Nccft, or we should look elsewhere. This is part of what a treasurer should do: gather data, analysis, provide options. Along the same line in this adequacy is the adequacy of our dental plan. In our contract, the county provides $574 annually, or over $47 a month. We've had the same plan, Newman, for many years, and based on our slate's meet and greets, we could not find one member that could give us a positive experience with Newman. So let's use the power of a membership to find out from our membership what dentists have the best plans. What plans do they recommend that are the best? Let's negotiate with the resources we have. At a minimum, the treasurer shouldn't just sign checks. You know, I will demand for better service. We should have better customer service from Newman. We shouldn't be taking the disrespect he gives our members. Thank you.
Okay, now we have a 3-minute summation. And David, you go first on that.
Okay, there's no doubt that the
2 minutes, I'm
NCCFT...
sorry. I'm sorry, it's a 2-minute summary.
Yeah, okay. All right, when you ready to clock, you're going to clock it when I start, right? Okay.
Yes.
Thanks, thank you, Alex. Thank you. Okay. There's no doubt that the NCCFT members are bearing the brunt of the college's financial woes through reduced numbers, a constant stream of additional tasks, many of them to justify the position of expanded administrative offices, larger class sizes, elimination of reassignment time for many programs, and many of our members no opportunity for advancement. Not only do these burdens harm our members, but our students are suffering as a result, and we continue the downward spiral of reduced enrollment. We have no doubt that there are more sacrifices that are going to be asked of the NCCFT membership. Despite being told for a decade that there's little we can do, there is a more constructive way that we can do. What we can do to stop the bleeding. The NCCFT contract provides a mechanism, and that's the budget committee. We could formulate fiscally prudent decisions and collaborative solution. It's time we start using this tool more fully. Let's analyze fiscal data on how the college allocates resources. And I have a whole list, but I don't have enough time. let's see, all this points to the important role of the NCC treasurer, what they can play, what they can do, and what they can contribute. They should not just sign checks and keep accounts, but have a deep understanding of budgets, not just the college's budget, but the county's budget, the state budget. We need to be transmitting them to elected officials. I also ask all of you to please support our whole slate so that I could be most effective in this position if you decide to vote for me. Farron Siminoff for president, Suzanne Kanemick for vice president, Judy Sue for vice president for non-classroom, and Val for secretary. It's time for accountability. It's time for transparency. It's time for results. And I and our slates will deliver this to you. Thank you. Thank you for participating tonight. And thank you, Caroline.
Thank you, David. Caroline, time for your statement.
Thank you. So thank you for taking the time today to attend this forum. I want you to know that if you re-elect me, I'll continue to fight for you and our contract and will not make you promises that I cannot keep. We have to work together through these tough times and stick together. We've sacrificed a lot over the past few years. Thank you to both the Tellers Committee and Elections Committee throughout this process, as I know it can be a thankless job. I hope that you will allow me to continue to serve as your union treasurer and a member of the NCC Executive Committee member. I'm not running as part of a slate, as I feel that the membership should be allowed to elect whoever they want in any of the positions that they feel is the best candidate. And I always welcome any questions or concerns you may have, so please feel free to contact me at any time if you have any, concerns. Thank you.
Okay, that's the end of today's forum. There'll be another forum that starts at 5 o'clock, and at that forum, we're going to be hearing from candidates for the position of Vice President for Classroom Faculty. So hopefully I will see you guys in about 10 minutes. Okay, have a good break.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.